is easy and fun once you understand the game's mechanics. This video will show you all of the basics so you can enjoy building some awesome things in your Enshrouded worlds. If you'd like to see more Enshrouded videos, please do subscribe. The first thing you'll need to think about is finding a location to do your building. When you first start a new game, a good location to build at will be shown at the top of the screen, so you can simply walk around the map and head towards that icon. Whilst heading to this location, you should loot any areas of interest that you find along the way. For example, you'll come across little areas like this where you can walk up to chests and open them to loot them. You'll also pass through this cave area that you're seeing here, and there's plenty of areas inside here that you can loot as well. And as you can see, the area that the game suggests to us is in this clearing in the forest right here. In general though, finding an area that's relatively flat is going to make building a lot easier. It's also a good idea if it has a lot of resources nearby, because you will of course need to collect these in order to build things. So in order to build anything, the first thing you need to do is press J to open up this GUI here and go to the crafting area. And you'll see here you can make a flame altar level 1, but it does require 5 stone. As the info says, this will mark your home and also allow you to build inside an area around the altar. When first starting out, you can collect stone from areas like this on the floor, and on the left hand side it tells you how much stone you've collected. Once you have enough to place the flame altar, you can come into this area again and press spacebar in order to craft it. You'll see it's now down in my hotbar, so I can simply press 3 in order to select that and build it wherever I like. So I'm going to go ahead and just place it right there, and now we have the ability to build in an area around this. Now once the altar is placed down, it actually makes collecting resources a bit easier, because we can now go up to, for example, a structure like this right here and just tear it down. We can also walk up to trees you see here and tear these down in order to get logs. So by placing down this altar, we're able to harvest many more resources in the area, which will of course make building a lot easier. Now in terms of the resources you're going to need early on in the game, first of all you're going to need twigs and plant fiber, which you can get from trees like this by simply walking up to them and looting them. Logs you can get from tearing down these trees once you've placed down the altar nearby. Stone, as we said, can be found just on the floor like this, or from structures like this once you've placed the altar. As for the torn cloth, you can get that by killing these mobs you see here. Once you've collected enough plant fiber, you can press J and go to the crafting area and then scroll down here to resources, and that's how you make string, which is something you will need early game. In the crafting area, you'll also be able to make yourself a stone pickaxe. Once crafted and equipped, you'll be able to dig around different areas in order to get dirt and also stone, as you see here. The dirt can be used for terraforming, which I'll talk about later on. As you start collecting a ton of resources, it can be a good idea to go into your crafting area and make yourself up a small chest. Enshrouded is currently in beta development, but will be in early access very soon on Steam. If you'd like to wishlist this game on Steam, the link for that is in the video description. In order to start building, the first thing you'll want to make is the quick builder. You'll see here it only requires 1 twig. So if we press spacebar, we can craft that, and this can be used whenever we're in the range of our altar. The next thing you'll want to make is a workbench. You'll see this is found in the essentials part of your crafting area and requires 8 logs and 3 string. Once you've crafted this, go ahead and place it down somewhere convenient nearby. You'll then be able to walk up to it and press E in order to enter into the workbench and build a lot of other things. So with the quick builder selected, go ahead and press the tab key. You can then select what you want to build out of. So right here we're going to build out of the rough wood block. At the bottom you'll then see you have different build options from single to 2 meters and 4 meters, as well as 2 and 4 meter roofs and terrain. The first thing you're likely to build with is going to be a foundation block, so you can select that and press escape and then run around to place it wherever you want in the world. You'll see it's pretty good at snapping to existing structures and being at the same height as them. So this height right here is a lot steeper on this side than it is over on this side, but it still knows where it needs to go. The snapping can be toggled using the X key, so you can turn that on or off and build however you like. When you want to build, you can simply left click in order to place down the blocks. If you want to undo, you can press Y and it simply undoes the build and gives you back the materials, and this can be done several times as you see here. So I think this is a really cool idea and very useful, because you don't have to then go and get a tool out to like smash down any builds you've made. You can simply undo them. If you placed a build item a long time ago though and you can't undo, you can, whilst holding the quick builder, go and look at the item and press E, hold it down, and there you go, you pick it back up and get the materials back, plus it takes it down. Now when placing down build pieces, you can press the R key in order to rotate the build piece 90 degrees. With decorational items, you can hold down the R key and use your middle mouse button to get a very precise rotation and orient it however you like. Once the decoration has been placed down, you can walk up to it and hold down E to pick it back up. Unfortunately, the Y button to undo doesn't work on the decorations, so you will have to go and pick them up each time if you misplace them. As you can see from this monstrosity of a structure right here, gravity is ignored in this game, so you can build things however you like without having to worry about gravity tearing them down. And in terms of how high you can actually build in this game, well, let's find that out together. So as it turns out, it's pretty high up, and I have to say you get an absolutely awesome view from up here. Now if you press B to open up your backpack, you'll see down the bottom here we actually have 2 hotbars, and these can be toggled between very quickly using this key right here, which I actually don't know the name of, but it could be an option to have like a building hotbar and then an adventuring hotbar, and that might save you some time when you're building. Then you can quickly switch between the 2 of them. So for example, if I've got some build items down here, maybe my quick build tools down here and stuff like that, and I'm out adventuring, then when I want to build, I can quickly switch between them and get on with my building. Now over at the workbench, you can also make a lot of decorative items if you scroll all the way down. So you see here you have things like doors and windows and even things like dishes and fences. On top of that, you also have these comfort items such as your bed, tables, chairs, benches, and an illumination section. Now, besides each of these items, you'll see they get a comfort rating. So for example, the table there gives you +1 comfort. So these decorative items will increase the duration of your rested buff. You'll see some items you can craft will have an arrow next to them like the tables do here. What this means is there are actually multiple ones you can craft. So if we select tables, you see there's a crude wooden table at the top here, but we can also click through to these two different ones. And they'll all have different looks and also can have different potential comfort ratings, so it's definitely worth looking through them. Now, there are options to do some terraforming in the game. You'll see with a pickaxe, you can dig out an area, and this will actually give you the resources of dirt and stone, as well as digging a bit of a hole. Now, what you can do is with the quick build item selected, you can press tab and go down here to where it says terrain. And then at this point, you can choose on the right-hand side here between stone and dirt and other terrain items once you get them. So if you use the dirt right here, and we go back over towards our hole, then you'll see that we can actually place dirt down here to start filling this back in if we made a mistake by digging this out. So in this way, you can do some terraforming because you can choose different types of like shapes and sizes and things like that and make different terrain adjustments. The beta application for Enshrouded is now open, so if you'd like to request to play this game now, there's a link in the description. Personally, I've had so much fun playing this game, so I highly recommend that you go and wishlist this game now on Steam. The link for that is also in the video description.